Welcome to an Error Code 429 tooling video. Today we will be covering one of the main features of the website, and that is the Cyber News Report. So the Cyber News Report is basically just an automated function that we can run at any time that will go to one of our selected news sources. It will make a request to that page, pull back the HTML. It will search through that HTML for certain tags, and then depending on what it finds, it will pull that back into an list, which we can then display the latest news articles. So just to show you real quick, I have CD'd into the directory for this tool, and I will go ahead and run the tool using Python. So we are simply calling out the program, running the help menu, and then from the help menu I can see that it wants the outlet option followed by the news source. So pretty simple, but behind the scenes there's a little bit more to it. But as you can see, for Krebs on security, there are 9 latest news articles. We have the title and the link. So this is a pretty cool feature. As you can see, we didn't have to open up a browser, navigate to the URL, and look through the web page to find the latest articles. We simply got on the command line, ran the script, and within under a second, we have the latest news articles. So I'd like to take a minute to just explain this a little bit. This is a pretty key feature of the web. It can be used in many places, not just for looking up news sources. You can visit any page, pull back the content, the HTML content, and look for anything really that you want. You can key in on words and phrases if you're looking to trigger on an event. If you want to buy a cheap flight, you can constantly keep refreshing the pages without actually having to visit it through the command line or through some function, and look for the cheapest flight, and then once it hits, create an action upon that. There's so many different things that you can use this for. You can create a bot, automated function. You can watch for a certain field to trigger on. So the possibilities are really endless. So let's take a quick peek under the hood of the Python file. Here I'm using an IDE, PyCharm. It's my preferred way to develop in Python. So looking at the top, we have a few imports. The first one being argparse. That just allows us to set the options and the help menu. Import request. This is the main package that will help us to make a request to a specific website. And then beautiful soup is how we actually parse that data that has been returned from the request made. So let's take a look at the Krebs on security function. So first, we define the function. We're defining the variable of Krebs URL is going to be equal to krebsonsecurity.com. That's just the main page. So we're defining Krebs page as making a request to get as the request method to the URL we specified above. Then what we're going to do is create a soup, or we're just going to allow the beautiful soup package to ingest the HTML content we just requested by calling out the package, this class. We're going to feed it the page that we just requested. We're going to define it as text, and then we're going to parse it. So those are all built-in functions of those libraries or packages, whatever you prefer. So we're making a request, we're saving the content of that request, and then we're parsing that content. Next, we are looking through the content. So for each item in that content, we want to find everything that has an A tag and a bookmark relationship. Now, why did I pick these two attributes? Well, if we take a look at the website, here we've gone to Krebs on security.com, and we look through the website, and it's pretty simple, not too much going on. But what we really want to do is pull back all of the news articles that we're seeing right here. So let's go to the first one. P2P weakness exposes millions of IoT devices. So if we look under the hood of this page, we see we have the body element. Probably a good place to start. We've got this div. Let's see. Probably this one. We keep going down until we start to see it get highlighted. So grid 11 looks like that's where the content is. Content, yep. So we keep drilling down and we see we've got all the posts categorized here. So if we drill into this post, we can start to see the elements start to pop out. And this is what we're looking for. So this is how we can pull back the actual URL of the specific story. We have the A and the relationship bookmark. So when we want to parse through this data, those are the two things that we want to look for. If we can find those two items, we then have the title and the link itself, all in this one reference, this A block. So that's what we want to do. And I can show you that real quick. So let's go ahead and comment this out. I'm going to say, so 4 items in the content. I'm just going to say print the items in plain text, so we see what we're working with. So then let's run this script. Outlet of Krebs. And you can see we've just returned exactly what is in the page right here, which is pretty cool. But it's pretty hard to read. So if this just was returned out of the tool, you'd have to copy and paste this, and then you have to look for the title here, which isn't too difficult, but not the cleanest. So the next thing we do is simply say, for each item, we're basically in a list, right? So if we're in that item, we want to get the text. So items.get text, items.get href. So within Beautiful Soup, it's defined this content as a list item. So within that list item, we can find these attributes, and we can dig into those attributes even further. So let's look at what I mean by that. So if we say items dot get text, it's already a function within that package. So we can just get the text. There we go. There's the title. Within this, the only text there is the title. Everything else, this is a URL, this is an href URL, so that's not going to get shown. This is the text right here. So that's what it's pulling back. I could have very easily just said, instead of get the text, I could have said get the href. So what this does is look inside of this tag, and it looks for an href. So you're drilling into the tag even deeper. So for any one of these tags or classes, you can pull back the value. So you can say, for that item, for each item we see here, every time we get one of these, for that item, look inside and pull back href, pull back row, pull back title. So we could do that each time. But what we're doing is saying we only want two things. We want the text and we want the href. And what's that going to do is pull back the text of the article, and then it's going to pull back this URL. So let's run that. There we have it. Pretty simple. We got the title. So when we print, I'm saying print plain text title, and then print the variable item.getText, then the link is equal to item.get the href within that item. And there we have it. Simple as that. And then just to provide some color, there we go, a little prettier. And that's the basic functionality of the tool. And depending on how easily the website is set up, this can be done in as easy as under 10 lines. Now, the more complicated the website and the deeper that the tags go, the more you may have to look, and it may get a little more complicated. But for the most part, it's basically the same concept. So there we have it. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and I look forward to carrying on and showing you more.